Just before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Satya Nadella, the global chief of Microsoft, was visiting India. While sharing the stage with Reliance Industries, Mukesh Ambani, the two of them, Satya Nadella and Mukesh Ambani, talked about how big online gaming was going to be in the country, how it had the potential to become bigger than shopping, become bigger than television. They called it the sunrise sector. Since then, there have, of course, been a lot of developments. Yes, COVID-19, the lockdown acted as a massive tailwind. More than ever before, Indians are taking to online gaming. And guess who's got the attention of that? It's the taxman. Whether it is the CBDT, which instructed all taxpayers to file updated tax returns to make sure that they also pay tax on their winnings. They claimed gaming companies had evaded tax to the tune of nearly 58,000 crore rupees. Since then, the chairperson of the CBDT has been on record, on camera, has said that the Union Budget 2023 will make sure that tax evasion via online gaming is plugged. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Come 1st of February, we will know what will be in the Union Budget and how it is that the sovereign is planning to increase taxes from online gaming. In the middle of all of this, you've got the GST Council, which wants to increase the GST rate on online gaming from 18% to 28%. Online gaming platforms say that if this proposal goes through, their business models will be wiped out, they'll be out of business. And why is that the case? Because there is a view within the GST Council, which a legal opinion is also being sought, on how this should be implemented. Should it be on games of skill? Should it be on games of chance? Should it, include just the entry fee, or should it also be on the winning pot? There are a lot of uncertainties, there are a lot of grey areas, and that and more is what I'm going to be discussing with the legal eagle, Mr. Lakshmikumaran, who's now joining us here on Startup Central on ET Now. In fact, he's also authored a white paper on taxation in online gaming, drawing parallels with the rest of the world. Welcome to ET Now. I think it is very well established around the world. The most tax departments may not agree that once you have moderate taxes, once you lower the tax rates, the compliance also goes up. That in substance is, what you've concluded in the white paper.
You are right, Mahendra. Whenever your tax rate is increased on certain sensitive commodities, then it leads to grey market. Just take the case of gold. Gold and precious metals, if you are going to charge a high rate for the 10%, 10%, then smuggling increases. On the contrary, if you tax moderately 2%, 3%, then the grey market stops. Same thing happens in the case of gaming. In the case of gaming, if you look at the tax rates applied on the VAT rate in different countries, it varies from 5% to 15%, etc. Never more than 20%. But if you're going to charge 28% on this industry, and is a nascent industry, there will be huge problem, because that reduces the total money which can be available in the hands of the player to play. That's the major thing. And once it goes to the grey market, then the government does not get the revenue. But more important thing is, monies are collected not in the banking channels, then there is a problem. So therefore, one need to be very moderate. Having said that, I want you to know also that this 28% or 18% is applied on what? As far as all these companies are providing the platform. For providing the platform, they charge a fee called platform fee, or what is called the gross gaming revenue. On this, the tax is 18% is being collected. That is exactly universal practice all over the world. Now, if the department wants to collect 18% on the total entry amount of 100, let us say case of entry amount is 100, and the amount which is retained or the charged by the platform is, say, platform fee, say 20 rupees, remaining 80 rupees available for the player. If you are good and on 20, the tax is being paid, no difficulty, no dispute. If you are going to charge 18% on 100, and this is going to increase the total tax burden and consequently the available money for the players, and then definitely get into the grey market. On top of that, if I go to 28% on the entry amount, then I think you can say that this industry is killed. As simple as that.
So, actually explain this to our viewers. Let us say that an online gamer wants to enter a game. Let's say the entry charge, hypothetically, is 10 rupees, and you can win first prize of 100 rupees. Why is it that if you have a 28% GST rate and it's going to be on the entry fee and the winning pot, it's going to sound the death knell for online gaming companies?
Now, as far as the winner of the player is concerned, that income is in any case taxed under income tax, and it will be, and in fact, the income tax department deducts 30% tax at source straight away, and then the person can take credit. We are not talking about that issue. Wherever the threshold is 10,000 and above, this happens straight away. But we are now talking about the indirect tax, namely the GST. You enter 10 rupees is what you originally getted. Out of 10 rupees, the platform charges 2 rupees. That is the charge charged by the gaming company, and on which the tax is being paid not only in India, all over the world. Now, 10 rupees is the entry fee. And if remaining amount 8 rupees is going into the wallet of the person, then he plays about that 8 rupees. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, etc. So whatever he wins, whatever he loses, at the aggregate of it is ultimately his income. It is getting taxed. No difficulty. To charge 28%, 18% on 10 would mean what is money lying in the wallet is also getting taxed, which is never done in all over the world. And if you want to charge on the total amount of 10 rupees, then the tax rate will be very low, say 2%, 1%, etc. A 2%, 1% on the total, or 18% on the gross gaming revenue, that is what the norm is. You can't charge 18% on the total. That doesn't happen.
So basically, the industry's request to the GST Council, the industry's request to the finance minister is what then?
They charge the tax as being done now on the gross gaming revenue or the platform fee at 18% what is being charged. Let us go continue. As far as the income tax is concerned, the players are in any case paying 30% tax or whatever tax they are payable, and the players or the gaming companies are already deducting that 30% as the tax reduction amount. Then now revenue you want to reduce that 10,000 some other number. That again is going to be a problem. But as far as the GST Council is concerned, the request should be that tax the platform fee at the rate of 18% being done. Don't increase to 28%. In any case, don't charge on the total entry amount. That's the case.
What we understand from our sources, and we've been speaking to state finance ministers, we've been speaking to the committee as well that has been set up to look into online gaming. We've also interviewed Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the Minister of State for Electronics and IT. And it seems that the view is, and a consensus seems to be building up, that whether the GST rate stays at 18% or hike to 28%, you're likely to see clear-cut definitions for games of skill and games of chance. This is, of course, also been seen by the Supreme Court. We have also seen as many as 4 states from South India that have looked to ban online gaming. And then one of them, Tamil Nadu, has in fact even come out with an ordinance. It promulgated an ordinance, just to make sure that it could go after online gaming. How is all of this going to work?
Very interesting question. If you talk about a game of skill and game of chance, in fact, when you argued before the Supreme Court also called a game of chance ultimately. Basically, the fundamental principle is in any game, there is a skill normally, and there is a chance. Even in cricket, is of course a game of skill, but there are a lot of chances. You can miss the catch. Everything is fine. So therefore, in any game of skill, there is an element of chance. If the skill predominates, they're called a game of skill. If the chance predominates, called a game of chance. That's the fundamental principle the Supreme Court has said very clearly. In the case of gaming skill, if you are going to charge free or you are going to pay for the monetary consideration, either way it is allowed as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. That is very clear. If it is pure game of chance, like a casino, then it is totally a game of, then it's called betting. There is a game of chance, and your monetary thing is called betting, and that betting, some states are going to ban. Lottery is, for example, is a game of chance. It's not a game of skill. And lottery, some states are selling the tax, selling the lotteries, and the monies are being collected, etc. Some states do not want. That's a different matter. But to say that all fantasy games, etc., are all game of chance and not game of skill may be incorrect.
Now, you have also in this white paper drawn parallels and talked about other domiciles, which may be more mature than India when we talk about online gaming. You have made a case that France and UK may be the models that India should aspire for. Why is that the case?
Because UK originally went in for the taxing of the total amount, that is the entry amount. And then they found that the lot of grain market was increasing, revenues were decreasing, and they found that this model of charging the tax on the entry amount is not going to work. And they switched over to the platform fee. And then they found there is a buoyancy in the revenue. And then the grain market dried up. Everything came on account. And revenue actually went up. So, and there is a white paper given by the His Majesty's Tax Department, giving very detailed as to what happened, what development happened after switching over from the total amount to the gross gaming revenues, or what we call that the platform fees. And that is exactly what service rendered. After all, ultimately, Nayantara, you must understand what is the service being rendered by the gaming company to a player. He provides the platform, he provides the facilities, he provides the software and any place. So he is rendering a service of that. The person is applying his skill and then playing the game. The winning or losing is by the player. If he wins, he makes the money and he pays the income tax. If he loses, bad luck to him. And that money doesn't come to the platform, to the gaming companies. Gaming companies, they go on increasing the software skills, different varieties of models of games, provide the platform, easier access, all those things are being given and they charge for that. So the only service called, what is GST? Goods and services tax. There is no goods here, only services. What is service rendered here? Service rendered by the platform is to provide the facility for it to play. Nothing more than that. Whatever the player is getting in his wallet or his gainers, etc., is nothing to do to the gaming companies. So therefore, the service rendered by them is only relating to the providing the platform services, and that is on which they are paying the taxes.
But tell us something. The law, it does seem as if the tax department is concerned about tax evasion. You've got the GST issue on one side. We've all read the same stories. We've all seen the CBDT chairperson's interviews where they're talking about such large sums of tax evasion as well. Honestly, and as someone who's got clients maybe as gaming platforms and as someone who regularly interacts with the government, how hopeful are you that the government is listening, that at this juncture it is willing to make a decision and a choice between the 28%, 18%, between the gross revenues and the whole sum?
As far as I think I asked two questions, Nayantara. As far as the GST is concerned, in the interest of the revenue, I'm not talking about interest of the industry. In the interest of revenue, if the status quo is maintained of collecting the taxes 18% on the gross gaming revenues, is the right way of doing for the future. We are in line with all developed countries. As far as the income tax is concerned, the income tax department, apart from the gaming companies are paying the income tax on their income fully, no difficulty. Over and above that, any payment being made by the gaming company to the winners of the game, they are mandated to deduct 30% straight, irrespective of the fact whether the player is the income tax level of 5 lakhs or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, whatever it is. If he is paying less amount of tax, he can go to the government and ask for the refund. But considering the number of people, etc., the chances of people going and asking for reduction is less. Therefore, government is already collecting. The problem, according to the government, seems to be that there is a threshold for deducting this 30% TDS. They say any amount paid less than 10,000 is not, now you don't deduct. More than that, you deduct. So the problem with the income tax department is seeing is there are many transactions that are taking place below 10,000 on which deduction of 30% is not happening. That is the question, whether you have a 10,000 as a slab or a threshold, should be 5,000. That is a question separately. But I don't think there is a tax evasion because the threshold is fixed by the government. And they must have, and one more thing, suppose you reduce from 10,000 to say 1,000, let us say. The number of people who will come in the net of deduction of TDS and the gaming company is following the compliances, the tax department will be having what? About say 20-30 crores of people suddenly coming into the picture, and they must handle. Legally speaking, each of them, if they come back and say, I have paid more amount as TDS, I must pay less amount, therefore give me the refund, the department is bound to give. Now, just look at the volume of work which will happen as far as tax department itself is concerned. Somewhere you have to look, what is the cost of collection of tax and what is the tax collected? If the cost of collection is going to be more than the tax collected, I think it is worthwhile to stay with the slab of 10,000. According to me, there is no tax evasion because individuals who are paying, they are on record, they are in the record. In fact, the government should ask immediately the gaming companies, tell me the people who have got the winning from your game, more than 1 lakh, more than 2 lakh, complete amount, give me the details. They become the bound to give the details. Then you go after them. Whether they paid the tax or not, you can have the, you have got the complete data, match it. Wherever people have not paid the tax, you should notice and collect the taxes. No problem at all.
Suggestion there. The question is the taxman listening? Is that the way we're going to move forward? We have more than 900 gaming startups. We already have 3 of them as unicorns. There's a lot of money that's also riding on this. Let's see how all of this progresses. But for now, thank you so much for joining us here on ET Now and sharing with us the details of your white paper.
Thank you very much. Thank you.